Jesus more.
So my dear friends, as we celebrate today the memorial of this Our Lady of Sorrows, maybe we just call to mind again the 7 sorrows of Our Lady. The first one is Mary taking the child to the temple, presented to Simeon, and Simeon talked about a sword which is going to pierce her heart. Secondly, we have the second sorrow would be Mary traveling with Jesus to Egypt, taking that long distance and going through that difficulty of going to the unknown. The third one is Mary losing Jesus for 3 days, the pain of losing her only son for 3 days. And the fourth sorrow would be Mary meeting Jesus on the way to Calvary, the greatest sorrow of watching your son about to be persecuted and killed. The fifth sorrow was Mary standing at the foot of the cross, which we hear today in the gospel. Mary standing at the foot of the cross and watching her son die. And the sixth one would be Mary receiving the dead body of Jesus taken down from the cross. The same Mary who carried Jesus amidst unspeakable joy when she gave birth to him, now carried him after being persecuted, killed, and went through a lot of suffering. And then the last one was Mary burying Jesus, of course, the greatest sorrow of Our Lady. So these are the 7 sorrows of Our Lady. And I just was thinking when I was reflecting on this gospel that one of the greatest traumas we could get in our lives would be those situations where we find ourselves helpless. I'll give you an example. When I was in Kenya for my first mission, in the year 2015, we were attacked. Not the parish, but the whole area was attacked by this terrorist group called the Al-Shabaab. And what they would do, they would come and knock at the door, and then once you come out, they would tie you up and then bring your wife and your kids to come out and watch how you'll be killed. And they did that right in front of these children and this woman, and they would kill all the men. They would not touch the women and the children, the men. And they would brutally slaughter them right in front of their children and their wife. And I think this would be the greatest trauma for these kids and for this woman, knowing that their father is being killed and they can do nothing about it. Secondly, there was a time also when we lost one of our kids in school to the crocodile. What happened? She had gone to wash her dish. They would come with their plates to school, and they would be after lunch break, and there was a river just around, and they would go to wash their dishes there. And this girl went to wash without knowing that was being targeted by this crocodile. And when the crocodile caught hold of her and was dragging her into the water, and then the other kids all came around, and this girl is screaming, "Please help, please help." And they could do nothing about it. Nobody could swim to go and get that girl from the mouth of a crocodile. And she was slowly taken in, and she died like that right in front of the kids. I remember also when my mother was very sick, just before she died, at the time we were really struggling to get her to hospital, and nobody just had no money to take her to the hospital, and we felt so powerless, very helpless in that situation. Anyway, when she eventually died, the trauma is that you can see somebody almost dying, but you can do nothing about it. And this is exactly what Mary went through in the gospel that we heard today, that she stood at the foot of the cross, helpless. She could do nothing about it. She could watch her son literally dying, speaking and then just literally dying. And she died right in front of her mother. I think this is the mother who was highly favored by God, who was chosen full of grace. And you would expect, if somebody is really favored by God, then all the good things are going to happen to her. And I think the feast day that we celebrate today, the sorrows of Our Lady, is something that will make us to be able to submit, just like yesterday we celebrating the exaltation of the cross, surrendering and submitting our sorrows, uniting them with the sufferings of Christ himself. Therefore, the cross becomes a symbol of victory. In the same way, we are meant to unite our sufferings with the sufferings of Mary. We must always look at Mary as an example of what it means to be a disciple. That in spite of all the honor that she was given, she went through all this pain and through all this suffering, the greatest of them being standing helpless at the foot of the cross, not able to do anything, just to cry and watch and see everything crumble. And I think this sorrow was not just during the moments of the cross, but it's a sorrow that she went through all her life, knowing that Jesus was her son, but also that she had no control over him. Somehow he raised him as a kid, of course, but there were moments that she knew that this was not within her power to do anything. And I think every mother or every father would want to have a hold over her child or his child, or to take control and tell the child what to do or what not to do. But there were moments when Mary felt helpless about everything. All she would do, the Gospels will say that she had everything. She pondered everything in her heart, especially when she was not able to do anything. That's why Simeon prophesied that a sword is going to pierce her heart, so that the thoughts of many will be laid bare. And this is exactly what happens. That happens today in the Gospel. This is what we celebrate today, the piercing of the heart of Mary through that sword of the Spirit. We continue to ask God in His love and in His mercy that He may accompany us, especially during difficult times, especially those moments when we feel helpless, when we feel we can do nothing. We are just to watch and continue to pray and trust in God. We pray that God will be able to accompany us during those moments and grant us the grace to persevere and to trust in Him at all times.
Kiss us, mother, kiss your children. Bring God's blessings from above. With your mantle blue enfold us in your gentle holy love. See the darkness dissipating, hear the trumpet echoing, Satan's rage